It's been a long time since we talked. Thanks for meeting with me.
It has been way too long. I'm excited to have a conversation with you.
Nice. I
Yeah.
thought that we could talk about traveling. How do you feel about talking about traveling? Have you ever
One of my,
traveled before?
oh, yes. And I actually am going to France in May.
Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
Why do you want to go to France?
Well, my family is French. My mom is half French. And so we have aunts and grandma, my cousins, and a bunch of family. And also my parents' neighbor,
Hmm.
she has never been out of the country before. And now she's moving back to North Dakota, where she's from. And so she's been asking my mom to take her to France for years.
Yeah.
And so my mom was like, okay, but like I'll make a trip and we can go and hit all of the like major touristy spots. We can go to Paris, see the Louvre, see, that kind of stuff, and then go see some castles and then end
Mhm.
up in the south of France in Marseille. And
Is that where your family lives, in Marseille?
they live all over the country, honestly.
Okay.
I have family north, central, southwest. I do have family in Marseille, but I don't know if we're going to see them. I think we might just go to the beach and just say, peace, family.
A vacation from the vacation of visiting family.
I like my family. I like my French family. They're crazy, but I really like them.
And you used to visit them, like you visited them throughout your whole life, right? Like in the summertime,
Yes.
or like when did you used to go, or over the holidays?
Usually in the summertime we would go, which is crazy because in France, um, and actually in a lot of European countries, as you
Mhm.
might know now, Alex, because you live in one, is people have a really good sense of work-life balance, and something that we in the United States do not have, and it drives me crazy, where people in the United States are just go, go, go constantly.
Mhm.
I really love that in Europe, they literally take like 2 months off and they're traveling around with their family and they just make it's just important,
Yeah,
like being,
people also have their work-life balance, and that's reflected in like when I want something to happen, sometimes I have to wait because someone else is on vacation, and
right.
that's
Or
just
this, or the
that's
store is closed
yeah,
because they have a life outside of work.
yeah,
And whereas here in the States, everything's just open like
all the
24/7,
time, yeah,
unless, well, not 24/7 necessarily. There are a lot of things that are open for like a very long period of time,
yeah,
at least 20 hours a day, which I think is overkill sometimes, like, do we really need to go to the store at 7 o'clock in the morning? I mean, I personally am
yeah,
sleeping at that time. So, and actually, I don't like shopping.
yeah,
So
me neither.
traveling, when I travel though, so if I'm going to, Mexico, if I'm going to Central America, or if I'm going to Europe, I enjoy the shopping experience because it's
Mhm.
so different. And it's
Yeah.
even if you go to like a big box shop, like in the Netherlands, you guys have like not Target, but you have like stores that have
Oh,
grocery.
Hema, I think is they call that. I've heard people call that the Target of the Netherlands.
Okay.
The thing that I think is cool about living here, which we were having a hard time like acclimating, because everyone that goes grocery shopping brings like a little bag and goes like every 2 days, and we're like coming there with this big cart and filling it
Right.
up, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" But they have this in the United States too, but I think it's just a little bit different culturally. They've got butcher shops, they have bakeries,
Mhm.
and they have really want to just go to the butcher shop and then go to the market every Saturday
Right.
and get our fruits and vegetables, and then go to the bakery and get like fresh baked bread every day,
Yes.
instead of just
Yes.
going to like the one-stop shop grocery store. And just, even though Europe is kind of becoming more like the States with like grocery stores and things like that, I like to pretend as if we're still living in the past, a little bit.
I mean, I think that they still do a good job in Europe of having that separation. You know, in France, for example, they have
Yeah.
boulangerie, which is a bakery. Then they have the pastry shop. They have the meat shop. They have a cheese
Mhm.
shop. So you can, and then there are things like farmers markets, or like what you're
Mhm.
talking about, where it's on
Mhm.
like a Saturday and you can go and you buy direct from, it's like farm to table. And
Yeah.
in the States, there's farmer markets here, but they're
Yeah. I feel like it's
mostly,
coming back into fashion.
I'm the hipsters. The
Yeah.
hipsters have made that
We
happen.
can
But
thank the hipsters for that.
I do. I'm like and the bikes, right? Like there's
Yeah.
like it where you live in the Netherlands, isn't biking is a huge
Oh yeah.
form
I
of
think it's the
transportation.
number one place in the world to commute with biking. They have the biggest biking infrastructure in the world, and it's also extremely flat. So it makes it a lot more accessible to more people to be able to do
Right.
it that way.
So do you and Becky have bikes in the
Becky has
Netherlands?
a bike. I have not gotten a bike yet, but
Okay.
I like to walk. I like to go for long walks and take
Yeah.
trains and kind of do that thing.
So that's like another cool thing that I really love about Europe, is because it's so much smaller and everything's like so much more condensed, that you could take a train and you can go into France, or you can go into Spain, or you can go
Yeah.
into any
I
of the
think the train
countries.
to Paris from the Netherlands is it might be like 2 hours, like 2 to 4 hours. It's something like, and we went to in January, we went to Germany, we went to Berlin. It was like
Fun.
a 6 or 7 hour train ride. So it was a little long. There's a train that goes to London from the Netherlands, and it used to
Ooh.
be a 6 or 7 hour train ride. And then that's because it would go down through Belgium, I believe, and then
Okay.
come back up. But they
Yeah.
just changed the line or created a new line. So now it's 4 hours, a train ride to London.
Wow. To
And I'm like,
London.
let's go to London. I'm ready.
Lon-
I'm ready to go to London.
London's an amazing city. It's super expensive though. Like one of the most expensive cities in the world, I would say.
Yeah, maybe we won't go
Still fun. It's still really
there.
I think it's also one of the most what like westernized, they have the most cameras watching the people.
Right, Big Brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I've got
cool.
my smartphone. It's always watching me at all times.
I know, me
So
too.
I'm
We're
like, can we
record
escape it at this point? I don't know. I feel
I
like
don't I don't think so. And I know I'm not gonna talk about technology because that's a whole other rabbit hole that we could go down. But
I
travel, yeah,
I really
sorry.
love the British accent. That's mostly, and I've been watching a lot
Um,
of British shows lately, and now I just want to watch more British shows. I'm really getting into. I used to not be that interested in British shows before. I
love
always thought
them.
American shows were so much better, but now I kind of like how they just turn the mundane into this kind of like these are just our lives and they're just mundane,
Yeah,
and this is just a show about it, and I
yeah.
love it, and I love the way they talk. I love their accents.
I wish that I could actually replicate like correctly a British accent.
And it's like shine your shoe governor, just like what, that's not a British accent, like, and it doesn't, I don't know, it's probably extremely offensive or something.
They're like so nice also, like in
Yeah.
baking shows, like British baking shows versus like American baking shows. In the
Gosh,
United
yeah.
States, they're like, no, we're gonna win, and
Mhm.
we're gonna do anything. But in the British baking show, they're like, oh, good job, we really like your cookies, mate.
Biscuits, actually.
Biscuit. Oh, my bad. Biscuit. Oh yeah. Right. And the different lingo is awesome too.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
chips are French fries or fries or whatever. And then
Yeah,
crisps are chips.
right.
And
I learned
um
that at a fish and chips place. You know the one I'm talking about in Denver that's on Broadway?
I do. I like that place.
What is
I
that
don't remember what
called?
it's called, but I
Yeah.
know, and it has a British flag because it's
Uh-huh.
like yeah, it's good. They do a good job actually.
Yeah.
It's obviously not the
PB
same.
and chips or something. I don't know.
Yes, something fish,
Yeah.
PB's fish and chips. Isn't
Yeah,
that what
that
it's called?
sounds
Yeah.
close. I think I drove by that shop like over 1,000 times growing up because Broadway was how we got in and out of
Yep.
Denver, and
Mhm.
obviously we went to school together in Denver and I
We
lived in
did.
Inglewood. So I didn't
And I
go.
did too. And
Yeah.
Alex and I actually took the bus. We took the city bus
Oh
to
yeah,
our
we did.
school because we were out of district. And I think so, in talking about traveling in other countries, taking the city bus is totally normal,
Yeah,
right?
they don't
That's
even have,
or
well, they have buses, but they have trams and
trains.
trains and
Trams.
trolleys. I call
Right.
them trolleys, but I'm the only one that does that. I just like that word a lot.
They're probably called a tram, right?
Yeah, it's
Where
called
you
a
are.
tram.
Yeah.